Going live still. Ah, now I'm live. Yay. Boy, technical challenges today. Anyway, here I am. and if you are visiting the recording of this session, all of the information you will need to have is on jollyrogerukulele.com. And I'm going to rattle your house. Another uke day. Mike is back. um, rattle your speakers a little bit more while I adjust this microphone. And let's see what did. Hello, Laurel. Renee is checking in from Lakewood. Beautiful downtown Lakewood. Lakewood. I grew up in Lakewood, and Lakewood's downtown is a shopping center. Evelyn in from Ecuador. Sorry, I'm logging in a little bit late today, guys. A tiny bit of technical difficulties. I don't know what the heck was going on, but anyway, we're all together again. Valerie's in from Chicago. Linda's in from Pueblo. Sandy's in from Upper Michigan. Elizabeth is, Canada Day is in from the very famous Canadian town called Evans, which is not in Canada. Gary and Diane are a lot closer to Canada than Elizabeth is. They're in southern Washington. Carol's here from Denver. Not Denver, Nathrop, a little bit to the west there. Jana is in from Texas. Waco, right, Jana? LG thinks it's okay. Looks like you have. Thank you, Linda. I had no idea there were politically correct lyrics and not politically correct lyrics and old lyrics and new lyrics. Apparently, they wrote the French version. Tell me if I'm wrong about this, Linda. Apparently they wrote out the French version and never changed a syllable of it. And the English version has been changed and changed and changed and changed. And so I know I did the super controversial thing about putting the English lyrics down first and then the French lyrics down after. And I'm not positive. My French is okay, but it's not great. And I spent a crazy amount of time trying to get those French lyrics exact correct. So spent more time on that than I should have. But anyway, I'm hoping that it is pretty close to right. Fran, welcome in. Linda from beautiful California. Yeah, yesterday's day off didn't work the way I thought it was going to work, but it was a day, day to recoup a little bit. Patty's in. Good to see you, Patty. Red, where have you been, Red? Logging in a week late, no doubt. Pauline is in the Bay Area. Beautiful. And Sandy's in Michigan. Pauline is in the Bay Area. Gotta get that in my head. I don't know why I have Pauline and Sandy confused as one person. Fran from California. Yeah, Jano's in Waco. That's right. Our Texans kind of come and go. They're busy dodging the virus down there. So I got to remember which Texans are from which town. Pele's in. She's from Denver here. Okay. Well, you're in Vancouver. You don't want anything to do with the French lyrics. That's those daggone Easterners, right? Jacqueline's here today. Jerry is in midweek. It's hump day. And Brandon is in from the Bay Area. Diane's here. Yeah, we had a day off, right? Hopefully that helped you guys. Hopefully, now let's be honest, hopefully you took the day off too. But what you should have done was just spend this hour slot, which you have reserved in your daily calendar for the rest of your life. And you should have used it for your half-hour practice, right? That's what you should have done, right? But let's go ahead and admit, probably just took the time off. All right. Sorry for logging in a tiny bit late, you guys. I don't know. There's always some technical difficulty every day. And so we are on and we're ready to roll. I would like to tackle the Jumping Flea Arpeggio key of F first. And that's a tough one. So let's take a look at that if you wouldn't mind. You don't mind. That's what you're here to do. So go to your Jumping Flea Arpeggio key of F this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are, this evening if you're in Europe. And let's talk about all of the things in there and what's exciting about this And then we'll catch up on some other stuff here at midway point. Terry, welcome in from Denver. Canada Day is a huge deal here in Denver. Leslie, Carol. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that too. The member login thing is working now, and I found out I'm now spending more money for an upgrade on the website that I did not need to spend. I just needed to go into the app that runs the membership. So you know how that goes with technology. Linda is here. Linda. Oh, good. Linda did what she's supposed to do. All right, that's one. Okay, let's play the key of F major. First, let's talk about this. Those of you who are new, or those of you who are newer, key of F major arpeggio is sort of the end of the line for introduction to ukulele. Our two pieces tomorrow are stretch pieces. They're not really intended to be pieces that you can play as a new player. But if you're playing them, and if you're playing key of F major, you have arrived. There is nothing that you're going to find in music, generally speaking, that's not at this level. So in other words, if you walked in here not knowing how to read tablature, and now you're playing the key of F major, and you're trying to tackle Aloha Oi, and you're trying to play Scarborough Fair, you don't have to be successful, right? You're just working on it. You know what's on the paper. You know what your hands are supposed to do. You know how to try to, you know what you're doing. That means you've arrived. In other words, you're not ever going to be comfortable in the old way of ukulele. You have officially reached this point where, for better or for worse, you are an advanced ukulele player by modern standards compared to most ukulele players. In terms of being an advanced musician, that phrase doesn't mean a lot. But in terms of the type of music you're playing and the type of stuff you're doing on this instrument, very few people are doing it, and it's very exciting. And so I hope you are pleased with your progress, and I'm hoping that this whole program gets you to this level, so that basically you're stuck with me at this point, right? Is that you're going to be coming here to get more and more and more sheet music. You're going to be coming here to try to develop your skill set. You're going to be putting in the time, either on these broadcasts or on the recordings or just on your own, trying to really hone in and get all those last. There's never a last, right? Hone in and really get your specific details down. And so I hope on some level you're super excited, like that. Hey man, I'm playing whatever key of F major means. I'm playing it, Scarborough Fair, man, that's a hard piece, but I know what I'm supposed to do, and I'm getting some of the sound out of it. I'm playing Edelweiss from Sound of Music. I'm playing Oh Canada, right? Which there's 3 or 4 of them that got reason to play Oh Canada. The rest of us were just doing it because it's there, right? And we're vaguely aware there's a country up there. That's what Americans know, right? Our media does not cover anything associated with Canada or, frankly, anywhere else in the world. So we have no idea, truthfully, that there's other countries. We've heard about them, but we don't believe that they're actually there. And you can play that kind of music now, which is so hopefully very rewarding to you. Are you playing it at the level you want to play it at? You never get there. You never get there. I have never got there. I'm pretty sure Jake has plans to get to a different level. I'll bet James Hill has a plan to get to the next level on this thing. You never get to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but you do get darn good. And that's what all I want to do, right? Wherever you were, I want you here. And if you're here, I need you to get up to here. And so I'm super excited when a key of F major, I get to pull it up. 1, I feel a little guilty because it's hard, but 2, I'm super excited that I'm giving it to you. Here we go. Let's get it done. Let's see. A couple other people just wandered in. Let's see. Kat made it in. Happy hump day to you. Chris is here. And I spent yesterday's practice. 2 songs to a different key for global. Yay! All right, Fran is busy transposing keys. Nice. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about Global Institute here in a minute. All right, key of F major. Let's run through and find out what weird, bad, ugly things are going to happen to you. First chord, index, middle. F chord should be hopefully happening to you. Remember, on the arpeggios that I wrote in my book, if there isn't a little wiggly next to it, I expect you to pluck it. Okay. And so that's what we're doing here. There's a couple of other notations for strumming in the book. In the book, there is a one strum where you go down with your index finger and come up with your index finger. But mostly you'll see little wigglies, and that means your thumb. You don't see a wiggly here, so you're going to be plucking all four strings. Okay. We got a couple of F chords. D minor, remember D minor is just an F chord with your ring finger. You're going to be doing that chord. And then, of course, anytime you see the key of F, and the way you know it's a key of F is it starts in F, it ends in F, there's a whole bunch of Fs in it, it's probably in the key of F. That means almost for sure you're going to see B flat come rolling through. Okay, we talked about on Monday night. Here's your A chord. That's all it is. It's just an A chord. Don't overthink it. And then you slide it up and add a bar. Now you have a B flat. Okay, so there's your B flat. Okay? And I am 100% okay with you using a partial bar on this. It's smarter probably long term for you to get where you can do this one, because you're going to have to do this one at some point. But you'll notice when I do it, I do this half bar as well. And so I'm 100% fine with you doing that. Either of those, but none of them are going to, no matter what you do in the beginning, it's, you know, it's going to sound terrible. But as you develop your skill set, it'll get better. Okay. Okay. Either way. Hey, Q, welcome in. All right, there's B flat. Now, at measure from 6 to 7, don't lose your mind. You're holding this B flat in this shape. The chord at measure 7 is a C chord. Don't lift this up, slide it up. That's the beauty of the bar chords. Remember Monday night, we just talked about you can do all those beautiful things, right? B flat, slide it up, becomes a C. That's really nice. Okay, you're going to play that chord. Then we're going to go back. We're going to play an F. We're going to play a D minor. We're going to play a B flat. We're going to play the C again. Okay, and then measure 17. Those of you guys who've been around with me for a little bit here are now comfortable with this chord shape, but it's never necessarily easy. Again, goes right back to our bar chord class on Monday night. 17, measure 17. You got D minor. We've been making this D minor. Now we got to make this D minor. Bar on 5, ring finger on 7. Okay, bum, 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 bum. Okay, you're probably, when you first start, get, and that's how you do it right now. Okay, until you get your hand stronger and your fingers a little bit more cooperative. That's what you do. You notice my middle finger just jumped over there. Not with not on its own. I didn't tell it to do that. It just was like, well, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to go over and help hold down the bar. That's what I'm going to do. And then at measure 18, you guys have seen this B flat a million times. It's in O Canada today. You've got your D minor. You're just going to take your middle finger and add it on there. So now you have that F shape, bar on 5. Okay, so it's a bar on 5, F in front. That's a B flat. And it's the other kind of B flat. So you're going to be going from, in measure 17 through 22, you're going to be going D minor, B flat, D minor, B flat, D minor, B flat. That's all you're going to do. And then it's super ugly on the paper, right? Like you look at that and you're like, oh, God, Gary, what are you doing? But there's not that much motion. We just keep this planted up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay? That's what's going on in that section. And you're going to be plucking. Okay. And then when you go to 22, you're hanging out here on this B flat. You're going to slide back to middle finger up, and you got your C chord. Okay. Again, back to that bar chord stuff. The fact that we're working on this is very, very cool. That we had this fascinating discussion of what bar chords can do for you on Monday night, and then here they're showing up and giving you an opportunity to practice them. Okay, guess what? We're going to play this thing on Monday night again, right? So don't let it get away on you. This is not going away. Okay, measure 24. There's those wigglies. Those are called glissandos on a piano. It's kind of a rolled chord. Okay, on ukulele. Just want to hear every string. Beautiful rolled chord. Okay. Then we got some melody and measures 25, 26, and 27. One of the things to pay attention to when you look at the melody in 27, It's 2-2-1-0, which actually outlines this chord shape exactly. So it's probably smartest just to go ahead and put that D minor on there and play those notes. Okay, that'll save you some motion. Okay, and then next chord is a C7 at 28. Drop down here. Measure 29, a little bit more melody, and then again at measure 30, the notes you're going to play are 3-2-1-1, which describe exactly note for note what a B flat is. And so there's another place where it might be a good idea to put the chord on to play that melody section. Okay, next thing, measure 31, another C7, couple zeros. Here's probably the hardest move in the song, honestly. You're busy on the C7, you're happy as a clam, and then you're like, oh crud, I got to get an F chord on, and then got to switch from strumming to plucking. I think that actually every time I get there, I blow it every time. Okay, so just be aware that that's difference between playing your thumb strum to this happens. And I would say, as one of the things I notice in my ukulele playing is that it is hard to go from strumming to plucking and back to strumming to plucking. And it's something you have to work on, something you know. And when you're working on a song, you're working it up, trying to get it to a real high level. It's something that's a problem that you have to solve. And so if I'm bum 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 bum, and then this is going here, I'm trying to let this ring out as long as I can. So in that case, I might actually lead with my middle finger, then add my index finger at the last moment to get that system in place. So that's one of those things you work on is, hey, I've got some strumming through here, then I'm going to switch over to plucking. How am I going to effectively get from one to the other? That's one of those things I find personally rather challenging. Okay, let's see. Oh, Phyllis made it in. Yay, hey, Phyllis. We got O Canada on the website. Hopefully you saw that. All right. The last parts of at 32, we're going to repeat. We're going to go back to the top, and then at 30, when we're going to come all the way back down, then 33, you hold your chords on these, because don't try to do one note at a time. These are chords. You got F, and then you got a D minor, and then you got a B flat. And you got those C's, and I always go ahead and make the chord because it's going to make your ukulele sound better. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we run through the chords in this key again. F, D minor, B flat, C, F. Okay, and we've talked a lot about in Summer Institute, and we talked a little bit over in this group as well in terms of what is a key, what's a chord, what's a note, how do all those things work together. And this piece, when I was writing it, I was also in the process of learning the ukulele. I think I was playing it okay at that point, but you'll notice that in this particular piece, I'm really sticking pretty religiously to the exact chords in that key, because this was fairly challenging for me to play back when I was writing this. And I wanted to kind of not simplify, but I wanted to give myself an opportunity to keep everything that I knew would sound good in one place. You'll notice as the book progresses, my choice of chords and my adventurous spirit with accidentals and stuff grows over time. I was becoming a better player, a better composer, theoretically. That jury's still out on that. And I wanted to just, continue to push the boundaries of what a cool tune would sound like while you're doing an etude. This one is pretty much vanilla. All the chords make sense. There's nothing super weird or fancy out there. And so hopefully your ukulele will roll through there pretty well as also. Kari, welcome in. Phyllis, happy Canada Day. Phyllis. Let's see. I overdid bar chords yesterday. These hurt. Ow. Yeah. Stop playing when your hand hurts. Okay, for 5-10 minutes. Go. I don't know. Go have a glass of water and then come back. Okay, here we go. You ready? From the top, all the way down to measure 30. What is it? 32, I think. And then all the way back to the top. And then we play it all the way to the bottom. Okay, I'm going to try to keep it slow. It's supposed to be at 140. I'm probably going to, let's do a little closer to 100 or something like that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. fast. Page 2. To the top. Page 2. There it stopped. Now I let off. Okay. How'd we do? That's definitely pretty high level playing. It's taking, a lot of my concentration. It's only the 4 chords in the key of F, but it's different shapes of those, right? So at some points we have this C, at some points we have this C, some points you've got this B flat, some points you've got this B flat, at some point you've got this D minor, and at some point you have this D minor. Sadly, I didn't get that F chord in there, but I tried, to give 2 different, it'll show up in other songs, don't worry. The idea, again, is to begin to get through this idea that, hey, this is my C chord. I never want to know about any other C chord. There's so many C chords on this ukulele, and the vast majority of ukulele players know that one and nothing else. And it just kind of limits them a little bit, right? And I want you guys to be able to walk out and be like, yeah, there's all these C chords. I don't know. Gary's got some weird obsession with teaching us every C chord because they come up and it's really nice to know where they are and how they work and all of that stuff. That's where your bar chords come in. Let's see. Kari made it in. Let's see. Elizabeth just noticed measure 30, low B flat usually read the note. Oh, okay. Measure 30. What's she saying? Oh yeah, it's absolutely just described out as a B flat. And Vicky, hey Vicky, welcome in. Those of you guys with low G ukuleles, you can absolutely play straight off the tablature, and it's just fine. Even then, your chord names are the same. It sounds different because instead of every time you hit the 4th string, instead of that high note, it gives you the low note, which in my mind, I've played this on low G a ton of times. It just doesn't have the quite the same coolness to it. And it sounds nice, but it just isn't cool. And so you can absolutely play these with a low G. Just know that every time you hit the fourth string, it's an octave lower than it's notated in the standard notation. The other thing, if you have a baritone, you can absolutely just read the tablature, just the straight tabs, and it'll come out of your baritone as well. You do know, though, that if you play that chord on a baritone, that's a G chord, not a C chord. And if you play this chord, it's a C chord, not an F chord. So that's something that baritone players get to do. They get to start looking, they end up playing from ukulele music quite a bit, and they get pretty good at transposing into the other key, which is exactly what Fran was talking about, is, hey, I spent a little bit of time transposing a song from this key to that key. And it's a valuable exercise because it makes you a smarter musician. And I think, isn't that what we're all here to do? Just become better musicians and a little bit smarter, and give us something to do at this time slot every day. I think sometimes we can get over our heads in terms of how smart we need to be. I was watching a pianist on YouTube yesterday talking about, I don't even know what she was talking about. It was so high level, crazy theory stuff. And yeah, it's important if you're going to be playing high level jazz, but if you're just playing to make some music, you don't necessarily need to know all that stuff. So, all right, let's go. Let's pull up Oh Canada. Phyllis made it in, and I'm sorry, someone else. What other? Somebody else. Oh, Linda from Canada made it in as well. So we got a couple Canadians in here. This is, according to Wikipedia, this is a big day in Canada. And the only time in the United States that we ever hear this song is at hockey games, right? And National Hockey League. And you're not really there at a National Hockey League game to hear the anthem. You're there to watch the fight. And it's why you watch playoff hockey is so much better than the hockey during the year. During the year, it's all about the fights, drinking beer, and having all this. And then when playoff hockey comes around, they all act like civilized human beings and try to win the game. So I'm going to get yelled at by one of you hockey fans, but that's my take on hockey. So we want to, let's play. Oh, Canada. Today is Canada. They're independent. They had a much more congenial independence than ours. I'm telling you the truth, right, Canadians? This is more or less your Independence Day. And let's see. Lynn made it in. Welcome, Lynn. The best you ever. Oh, Laurel just played that song really well. That's awesome, Patty. Why have a formaggio on the last note? So number one, it's not a formaggio. That I believe is cheese. Fermata is on that last one. Here's why I put fermatas on the last chord sometimes. There's a real reason, and then there's a fake reason. The real reason is when you get to that last chord, I teach you, guys, when you get to that last chord, and then hold on to it till it stops ringing. That's what I teach you. That's what you should do. That's the sane human being thing to do. However, you will run into music people who've been properly trained, and that fermata, or that last chord, is supposed to last 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they'll stop the instrument. On the last measure, that's probably not what you want to do. If you are playing at that level, you should be looking at the conductor, and the conductor will let you know whether he or she wants to allow that note to ring out or whether they want it to be the exact 4 beats. So there is a music reason to put it there, like a legitimate reason. I for sure want you to let that thing ring out at the end of that, for sure. But if I didn't put it there, you could make an argument that it's supposed to be 4 beats and then you stop the instrument from sounding out. Hopefully not too many people would make that argument, but you could. The less real reason is that when I'm doing the sound files for the computer, it will have the note ring out for 4 beats and then it stops it. But if I put a fermata over the top of it, it'll ring out for 6 beats usually. And so it just gives that little bit of extra time for the sound to decay on the MP3 file. So there is a real reason to have a fermata there, and then there's sort of a fake reason, which is my reason. It sounds better in the software, and so as you guys know, I'm much better at playing music in my computer program than in real life. So yeah, so that's the purpose of the fermata at the end. The reason for formaggio at the end is to have a glass of wine with it, of course. Let's see. Most NHA players used to be Canadian. Don't often see them singing the American anthem. I know, right? Canada and hockey, they're just nuts for the stuff, and it's really it's cool. I mean, it's exciting. It's like seeing soccer in Iran. You know, they're just crazy for that stuff there. And regarding hockey, Q says during. I don't know hockey, right? The other one to find Olympic hockey is wonderful because they don't let them fight, and so I'm an American but love the Canadian anthem, right? All right, Q likes the Canadian anthem, so let's play it. Okay, if you haven't heard it before, go listen to the MP3 a couple times. I'm not gonna sing as we go along. Am I? No, I'm not. It's got a lot of chords in it, guys, and some of them are really hard. So let's run through a few of them. You got the F chord in measure 1 and the C chord. So far, so good. It's going to get worse, okay? Measure 2, you're going to have your D minor, this chord, and this, okay? Okay, and back to the C. Because we're in F, I tell you, hey, you're going to have a B flat in there somewhere. And sure enough, there it shows up at measure 3, in the middle of measure 3. Again, just B flat. If yours sounds, that's fine. Just know you're working on it. Okay. A lot of times in the key of F, the G minor will show up. Okay. It's kind of interesting. It's the second, but it just sounds nice for some reason. It's way better than D minor in the key of C for some reason. But G minor, index, middle, and ring. Okay. C7, it will show up a ton in the key of F. Okay. And then measure 3 is a G7. Okay. Don't know what it's doing there, but it leads back into the C, which then should lead back into the F. That's how G7s end up in there. And I think I'm going to peek through there. That's everything on page 1. Page 1, not so bad. Page 2, everything goes to hell. Heck, everything gets harder. Okay, so we're going to come around G minor, blah, blah, blah. And then in the middle of measure 21, let's talk very briefly about augmented chords. Augmented chords, C, E, G, right? They're just lovely on the piano. Augmented chord, you reach this pinky out, and they sound ridiculous, but they don't get used a ton in music. But when they do show up, it's kind of cool when they finally do really show up. And so that's your augmented chord. It's just adding a half step onto that fifth note. And in this case, instead of playing an F with a C on the top, you're playing a C sharp on the top, and it creates all of this sort of chaos and weird sound in there that we're then going to resolve. For us as ukulele players, augmented chords are not that easy to finger. And so when we get there, you're coming out of the F chord with your pinky here. This is the chord before that, okay? The next chord, I'm going to probably, in pure desperation, grab index and middle. Ring's going to go way up on top, and pinky's going to go way out here onto 4, okay? So that's probably the shape that I will end up in. It doesn't sound like anything out of context, but when you get there, it's going to sound super cool. Okay, you're going to hit the 4 again, and then you got to jump up to this B flat that we've worked on quite a bit. Okay, then back down to the 1. So there's a lot of cool moments happening there, and like a lot of anthems, just the American anthem, similar to this, you get to that high note or the home. I think it's Brave or whatever the note is way up here. The chords get a little wonky and crazy going up to this high note, and same thing with this song. Oh Canada, right? We're going to bring that way up there, and we're going to put this cool chord underneath it to create a whole lot of tension that we can then resolve coming back down, and it's going to sound really nice. Also, notice when in measures 23, not only are we going, oh, Canada, we're going to go, oh, Canada. We're going to really go up high. And so go to 25. You've got your F chord, get your pinky on. You're going to go, this is kind of a toughie. Bar on 5, middle finger on 6, and pinky finger on 8. And you hit the 8 twice, and then just turn into the B flat, and then we'll finish up. Okay, so it's going to sound cool. I ran through this 8 million times. I was desperate to make sure that Phyllis didn't have to drive down from Canada and punch me in the face. That was my entire yesterday. I was just in a panic getting this together. You know, Phyllis can be, you know, she can be a little tough on me. So, so let's give it a try. I think the Canadian Island is much nicer tune than ours and way easier to sing. It's a much nicer tune than ours. It is. There's a reason why they got it together in 1850 or wherever they did it, and they haven't needed to change the French version of it at all. So, Valerie is speaking in Canadian, I think. What are you talking about there, Valerie? All right, let's give it a try. Nice and slow. I have one typo I think that I'm going to change, but I haven't quite decided if I like the way this one part sounds. In measure 8, I have 1, 3 going into the next thing. I think it sounds better with 0, 1. So I'm thinking about switching that to 0, 1 instead of 1, 3. Even though the original music is quite clear, it's 1, 3. It doesn't sound quite as good on the ukulele as I want it to. Okay, I'm going to play the tough uke. If you are newer and you just want to play the melody, or if you have never heard this thing at all, that's a way to do it. And then, of course, if you want to mess with chords and work on that, that's fine. Okay, let's go through it nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Canada, our home and native land. C7, F chord. True, dun, 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 dun. G7 with the 5. Dun, dun, C chord. Now this is where I think an O1 sounds better. O1, O, third C chord, O1, F chord with your pinky. 1, 1, 3, B flat, F chord with your 3, G minor 7th, D minor, and then C. It's a lot. 3, 0. O1. Kind of tough. Okay, that last couple of sections are pretty tough. getting those two. I wrote out your complicated chords underneath there so you can have a chance to work on them. On Friday, we of course will play this again, and hopefully I'll be a tiny bit smoother on that. I would say if you're doing great, right? If you get all the way to 20, measure 20, and it sounds like a song. After that, you got to gut it out and get through that section. It's also interesting how many chord changes are in this piece. There's a whole lot of chords in it, and they sound really nice on ukulele. It's really quite a beautiful piece, and so hopefully that's one that you can spend a little bit of time on and work it up and turn it into something. For your Canadian friends. And so Canada, let me know if we got it close, right? I'm pretty sure I really did put a lot of time into it yesterday. So I'm hoping it's good enough for July 1st. Valerie says mouse dropped on the keyboard. All right, cool. And Laurel says sound pretty darn good for the first run through. Yay. Okay. So it's a nice tune. It really is. And I think, I never do the Star Spangled Banner because people are so weird about the American anthem, as you know. I mean, it's all over everywhere. Like you've got to stand up, and if you're a musician, you don't want, the whole thing. And so it just, Phil, she says very close. All right. Whew. Okay, I'm off the hook. Especially if you're Canadian, if you'll run through that a few times and let me know if there's any mistakes or any things that I need to change. And then, of course, play through it a few times yourself, Americans, and get to know that they're another country's anthem once in a while, right? The one we want to do someday is the Italian one. It sounds like a carnival. It's awesome. Regarding Hoggy, we're lucky anybody who's left standing by the playoffs. I know. It's a mean sport. Nobody has any teeth in it. All right. There's old Canada. You got it for Canadian Day. Today's Canada Day. We love you, Canada. Thanks for being here. Last piece today is Edelweiss. Okay. We're going to run over to fake Austria. When you're in Austria, they're like, no, we do not believe in Sound of Music. It is silly. It is just an American thing. But while you're here, America, please feel free to drop all of your money here, and we'll take you on a tour of the gardens below the castle. And Americans go over there that have seen this, and they're singing in that garden and all this stuff. It's very fun. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country. Crazy. We drove a car through Austria one time, and it's just like their farms are pretty. In America, you drive past a farm and there's dead cars and refrigerators and all that stuff out there. Not in Austria. There's none of that. I don't even know how they run a farm. All right, Edelweiss. Edelweiss is a flower, and it's a delicate flower, and the song is exactly what it's about. And so I would say with this one, I've been teaching this one a long time. It's really, really quite fun to play. There's no terribly brutal chords in it, and so I think it's one you could put some time in on and have a really nice tune. It's Salzburg. Beautiful, beautiful place. The other place, just go up to Innsbruck and have lunch. That's another place just to go and just be. I mean, I don't know. Beautiful place. Let's run through the chords. You have a C chord. You have an F chord. You have a G7. That's how we start. Okay. C chord. G7. Okay. You've got an A minor 7th in measure 9. We like that chord, right? D minor shows up in this case. It's in a C, key of C, so D minor is the 2nd degree of that key. So that's why that's hanging out in there. G7, of course, the 5th. And I'm not entirely positive if that isn't everything in there. Oh, no. Go all the way to measure 25. Okay. And you have a real D chord. Blossoms grow. When you see a chord that doesn't really belong in the key, like D doesn't, D minor is fine, but when you put it in D, there's going to be some tension there. There's going to be some in the music, and then that's going to get resolved into the G, the G7, and then down to the C. So anytime you see a chord that doesn't feel like it belongs in that key, that's a moment of tension. That's a moment of drama in the song, and you'll hear it when we get there. It goes way up, and you're going to be playing. Resolved, and then we go back to the C chord. You got a G minor in here. Again, it's one of these surprising chords that shows up. Okay. Edelweiss. and then measure 31. You go from an F to an F minor. Okay, F minor. F minor is one of those that doesn't show up a lot when you're first learning, but as you do more complicated music, it shows up more and more and more. It's a really beautiful chord on ukulele, and it sounds so sweet next to an F. Right, it just has this, takes the F chord to this next level, and then we can resolve it with the C. So, so those are your chords if you're a chord player, and a singer. Singers, this is lights out easy song for you to do. There's not a ton of motion in the, well, there's lots of motion in it, but the highs and lows are not rough on you at all. And so this is one of those pieces you can get a really nice presentation piece, and it sounds just absolutely fabulous if you're plugging 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 Edelweiss. You know, I can't do it, but you know what I'm talking about, singers. Those of you who don't sing, you're either going to play the melody, 0 3 5 3 3 1, and I think it goes up to 7 at one spot. Nope, 5 is the highest note. Okay, so another really ukulele friendly song. This is your highest note. Okay, we love that. Okay, when I end up with arrangements down here like Scarborough Fair is going to be tomorrow, you know I'm desperate. Okay, I don't want the note. I don't want this note. Nobody really wants that note, but sometimes the ukulele just doesn't have enough notes on it to fit. Okay. All right. So I'll play the tough uke. You play whichever way makes the most sense for you, and then we'll talk about any weird stuff I forgot to talk about when we get there. Oh, I do want to mention tough ukers. You know how you got this G7? We like that G7. Okay. The other G7 that's going to come up a whole bunch is 5 5 7. Okay, that's going to come up a whole bunch. That's also a G7, and just get used to it. It's going to come up. Okay, there's sometimes I'll do a 3 with 2 5s, but it doesn't sound quite as G7y as if I do 5 5 7. That sounds a lot more G7y, and so you'll see that come up a lot. Not just in my arranges, but in well, nobody else is arranging ukulele this way. That's not true. Colin Tribe arranges this way, and I think we're it. Okay, we're doing it right. Everybody else is going to catch up with us someday. All right, from the top. I'll count in 3, and then we're going to go. 1 2 3. Top, or almost the top. Isn't that lovely? That's lovely. That's lovely. I like that tune a lot. I think those of you guys looking for your first memorizer, that might be it, right? That's something that sounds so pretty, not brutal to play. A couple of moments there are a little tough. The first time I went through, I played it thumb down. Second time I went through and plucked the whole thing. I think you kind of decide which technique you can use to make it sound nice. And so on Friday, you will have that opportunity to do that again, and we'll see. Captain Conrad says hello. Those of you who are younger, you have not seen that movie. You really should go see that movie. It's by the time it's done, you're not sure whether you love it or you hate it, but all of those songs are stuck in your head for life. And so I'd say. It's definitely a good tune. All of the tunes from that show are really good. Even that weird one where the head nun sings is like, holy cow, that's some legit singing. All right, before we get out of here, I want to take just a few general announcements. I did finally figure out what the heck was wrong with the member logins, and so that has been fixed. So please let me know if you're having any problems with logging in. Should not be a problem. I uploaded something. What did I upload? I put something on there yesterday. It's a Beatles tune, Norwegian Wood. I have a baritone student here in town who's big on Beatles, and I've been writing him some stuff, and he absolutely loves that song, and I don't know why, but so it's on there for you Beatle people, Norwegian Woods in the member section. Also, please remember, Intro to Ukulele is going to start again next Monday, so if you know anybody who owns a ukulele that isn't playing this way, tell them, hey, Gary's going to start over next week on Frere Jacques, and you should get in on that. And so we'll start dead on. And if you're newer and you've been like, gosh, it's driving me crazy, whatever's going on this website, come Monday and get them involved. Call everybody and make sure they own a ukulele, and then get them to come and join us. Guys, I don't make a ton of money on this. That's not the point. The point is to get everybody playing music, and I want people to stop being audience members and start being performers, and to start making music rather than consuming music. It's so bizarre to me that everybody is so focused in on music consumption. It just seems weird. Tomorrow we have the hard song of the week, right? If you were looking it over this weekend, my favorite things is hard to play. Tomorrow we're also playing Scarborough Fair, which is hard to play, and we're also playing Aloha Oi, which is hard to play. So tomorrow we're going to have a workout, and then we'll play our concert on Friday of all those tunes. The Americans, I have not gone over those American songs. We will play them on Friday. They drive me crazy. So you were supposed to work on them yesterday, and. Let's see. I think that's it. I think the only other thing that came up that I think I just need to mention, the Global Institute has been very, very hard, very challenging the last 5 weeks. Next week, we're going to play it. We're going to catch up on all the music. So next week, we're going to play all the songs on there. I'll post a memo on there of what songs you can and should be working on. And hopefully this week, you're taking A chord, D chord, and E7 chord and doing them the hard way instead of the easy way, right? And so that's what you're working on with those. And then if that's making sense to you, then transpose them a little bit. Move your bar up a fret or two, move it back a fret or two, and see what happens to the singability of your tunes. So there we go. I think that's what I need to tell you about that's going on. Let's see, Kat said, how do you solve a problem like Maria? Oh, that's something Maria took, I don't know. I took a whole week, I think, to write that arrangement. That's a harder song than you need it to be. Most baffling thing was the extravagant wedding dress made in such a short time. Right? I mean, everything about Sound of Music has got a story behind it. Pauline, thanks. All right, so you're done. Have a wonderful day. Pauline, I'll see you tomorrow. Renee, easier. I agree. Easier piece. Yeah, it is an easier piece to memorize, right? This is Edelweiss. And nobody's not going to like that tune. Everybody loves that tune. So, and if they don't like it, you don't like them. And they shouldn't have gotten the pleasure of listening to you play it. So nice one to memorize. Valerie, good to see you. Have a great day. Q, remind them to buy the tenor size uke. Oh, if you have normal size, normal, right? The word normal, we're not supposed to use that in relation to your body, right? If you have normal grown-up hands, you should be playing a tenor. You should be playing a tenor. Okay, if your fingers are short, you should be playing a concert, but normal size hands, a little bit shorter fingers, probably concert. The only people that need sopranos are I fit little kids out with sopranos, and every now and then I'll have, and this sounds super ageist and sexist at the same time, grandmas, right? I sometimes get little ladies who come in, they have little tiny hands, they need a soprano. But other than that, you should be playing a tenor. Chris, have a great day. Elizabeth, no F sharp minor. No F sharp minor. No F sharp minor. Did I take an F sharp minor out? Oh, oh yeah, you could do an F sharp minor on the homework exercise. That's a good idea. RMU concert Raymond Gary's of sound music. If you want 18 minutes of Sound of Music, go to the Rocky Mountain Ukulele Orchestra website and on the Fun page. I think it's on Fun. Is that where I put it? I think it's on Fun. There's 18-minute long concert of us playing Sound of Music, and we loved every note of it, and our audience hated every note of it, and it was awesome. So if you want to go listen to the ukulele gone wildly out of control, that's our video. All right, Phil. Yeah, keep practicing. Right, find the songs that are working for you. Put those into heavy rotation. The ones that you're working on, you put them into light rotation. And of course, the jumping play arpeggio every day. Every day, it'll make all that other stuff work. Vicky, have a wonderful day. I'm glad you're loving it. Lynn, I'll see you tomorrow. Leslie, have a great day. Jackie, have a good afternoon. Happy July 1. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Canada. Sandy, good to Sandy, you're basically in Canada, right? We'll just give you honorary citizenship for today. Brandon, have a great day. Good to see you, bud. Jerry, you bet. Have a good day. Jerry, how's the banjo playing? Let's see. Pele, see you tomorrow for tomorrow for at 8 for a guitar class. We're doing let lean on me. That's what we're doing for guitar, and it's harder than you want it to be. So there you go. See you tomorrow, Pele. Kari, for some fun songs today. Good to see you, Kari. Keep playing, right? Don't give up on ukulele, Kari. I believe in you. Okay. She's as gone on ukulele as I am. It's exciting. Mike, have a great day. Patty, have a good day. Carol, I'll see you tomorrow. You guys have a great night. I'm going to hit end stream.